Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of CLX Foundry Live, where we dive deep into a build and we assemble it from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, we've got something fun to do today because we're going to be making a topographical or a topography build with an amazing case. It is our NV5. So why don't we talk about what we're going to be punching into this thing?
All right, so going inside of this, starting out with our processor, we've got the Intel Core i7 14700KF. To cool that, we've got the CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. For our motherboard, we've got the ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi DDR5. For our memory, we have two sticks of XPG 16 gigabyte DDR5 6000 speed in black. And for our storage, we've got a single 2 terabyte ADATA 800 gold NVMe M.2 drive. For our video card, we've got an RTX 4070 Super from Gigabyte. We've got 8 of our GameDS Aeolus M2 case fans in black. And for our power supply, we've got the GameDS 850 watt Helios P2 80 plus gold power supply. So this is our brand new Topography Edition NV5 that we're building in.
Nice. I'm going to just put this in the chat because I know there's people who might not be able to hear us. So, don't forget, if you hear something, a term or otherwise that you're just not familiar with, or you have questions about something that we do or that we say, please ask away. If you got questions about your build, or if you are, whoops, that's not what I want to do. Oh, that's why.
This is Wichita landmark. This is what Wichita looks like.
It's the keeper of the plains somewhere in there. The river.
I wish Wichita was this active.
So much hills.
Okay. You know what's really funny?
Your face.
When you accidentally
Close.
open
Oh,
the chat for your own channel instead of the chat for the channel that you're actually on.
Whoops.
There we all are. Hello, people.
Got 'em.
Good God. Get it together, DJ. Get it together. So, by the way, Nolan, Blake, Howard down on the blue side says, hey, guys, how y'all doing? We're doing good. I know they're about to be expecting some snow.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Snow?
yeah,
I don't
next
want
Wednesday.
that. No.
I was mainly looking for what days I need to not have my windows open on the car.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, last night got super freakishly cold for me. It was bizarre. Very bizarre.
I think it was almost freezing here this morning. It was cold in the house when I woke up.
Do you have your heater turned on yet?
I have it set to like 65, just in case it goes real low, but we're going to have to crank that up here. Sounds like next week.
Yep.
So that should answer that question, Dimensional Shadow. We got Jimmy Yo. Ben Chushan. Hello, Retired Fire. How's it going? Good to see you all here. We've down on the TikTok side, we've also got, Chris Lowe is here. Nice rig. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have you ever, over on the red side, Mike asks, have you guys ever, are you guys ever going to do a mini ITX build?
Yeah, we will. So we have
Good
done
question.
a few of them in the past. They're not super popular, so that's why you don't see them a lot on the show. But if we get one, we will definitely be building it on the show. We have a few cases that we offer in ITX, but have you built one recently, Zach? I feel like it's been a while since I've seen one.
I have built a couple in the back, yes.
Okay.
The 011 Mini.
All right.
That's
yeah.
our main
mini
ITX that we have.
Okay.
All right. Now, for our motherboard, as you can see right here, this is an ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi and with D5, so that means it's going to be taking the DDR5 RAM. So let's take a look real quick at that I/O shield so we can talk about the connectivity, because this board is actually really great for connectivity. First of all, we've got our 2 antenna ports right up there at the top next to your HDMI and your display port. Down below there, we have the beginning of 8 of our USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. We've got a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C port, and that's a 10 gig line. And then, of course, we've got our 10 gig 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, as you can see right there. We've also got our RJ45 LAN port, plus you've got all your audio down below there. This is all brought to you by our friends at ASRock. Is that PC for me?
It can be.
Everybody's wishing, right?
With
low price.
With 2 clicks of a button, it could be. Let's do.
Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is figure out what we're going to be putting in to make this thing think as fast as possible, and that is going to be by installing an Intel Core i7 14700KF. Paul, tell me about this processor.
Sure. So this is a 20-core, 28-thread processor. You've got 8 performance cores that have hyper-threading along with 12 efficiency cores. It's got a base speed of 3.4, and it will boost all the way up to 5.6. A really solid gaming processor here, 14th gen from Intel.
Tyler Sternberg says, send me a free PC. Tyler, get in line.
We got you.
Just kidding. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. The motherboard looks nice. Looks perfect. Yes, it does.
Yeah, the Steel Legend has a really good aesthetic. It's been a while since we had on the show. We use these quite a lot here, but yeah, I like it's kind of that white, kind of silver camo-y style. It's going to match the white and black on the build really well.
Now, regarding the letters at the end, obviously, can you just go through the different variants of what you can find with Intel processors, and then what is the equivalent of that for AMD?
Sure. So there's quite a few of little designators at the end of the Intel model numbers, with a few of them being the most popular. So K is probably the most popular. That means it's unlocked, which means you can overclock it. F is becoming more and more popular. It means that the processor does not have onboard video. So your video outputs that we showed on the I/O shield of our motherboard, those will not get video since this is an F processor. We don't really want video out of there because we've got a video card anyway, so we don't need it. And then there's a couple others. S is usually a special edition. You might even see like a T or a U. Those are typically like low voltage processors used in laptops and notebooks. So there's quite a few, but the K and F are the most popular ones. The K is kind of like AMD's X. That means that one can be overclocked. AMD's got a few other different designators as well.
Over on the red side, it is a name that I can't pronounce, and I'm so sorry about that. But Mensch asks, now I'm thinking about and might need to upgrade or wait for the 50.
Yeah, it's up to you.
What are you running now?
50 series should be out, relatively soon, but it's up to you. They're obviously going to be more expensive than the 40 series, so obviously it's whatever's in your budget.
Jumping back over, Dimensional Shadow asks, have you guys had any issues with Intel 1700 CPUs built after the microcode update, RMA or in-house?
So ones that were built after the update, no. Now we honestly, even before that, we didn't have that many issues. Just to be safe though, we did get the fix, and on every machine that had a 13th or 14th gen Intel chip, we did do the BIOS update just to prevent any issues in the future. But no, I haven't seen any issues since after the update.
So you're running a 3070 right now. Gotcha, okay. Let me jump back over here to the purple side. Bad Player HS. First of all, hi, welcome to the show. It's first timer. Asks, do you guys know if the 7800X3D will drop in price with the 9800X3D released? Or how long it usually takes for that to happen? Good question.
Good question. Welcome in, Bad Player. So the price will drop on that as soon as the new stuff comes out. I can't really tell you when or how much. It's all just what kind of the market decides. But you should see the price drop pretty quickly as soon as that new one comes out. If you want to be safe, maybe like wait a week or something like that. But yeah, I would expect the price to go down almost immediately after that's been released.
Sticking over here on the purple side, what is a good entry-level PC that will play the newest games like GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, COD? I've been looking at CLX for a bit. Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. So the first question I would have is, what resolution are you going to play it? Are you going to play those games in? I'm going to give you an answer for 1080p, but if that's different, you can let us know. Most people game in 1080p. 2K is becoming more popular now, but a solid 1080p rig that can run those top of line titles. If you go to our RTS on our website, which we'll show a little bit later on in the show, those are ready to ship systems. You can get a good grasp of what you would want for that. 1080p, okay, great. So you're probably looking between like the $1,000 and $1,500 range at some mid-range PCs there for 1080p gaming. But I recommend going to the RTS, even if you don't buy one of those. It gives you like a good price for that system, and then you can customize that further if you wanted to.
Throw that extra storage device on that.
There you go.
Yeah. Also, on the green side, big shout out to Fidus. What's going on? Good to have you here.
What's up?
Steel Legends says Steel Legends are good. You just have to be aware that some of the models have a Dragon chip for LAN, and they have a chance of driver issues when compared to Intel chips. Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. Now, real quick, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it, because we're answering questions. What is it that you just stuck on top of our processor, bud?
That is our heat distribution device. That's what I like to call them because there are lots of different options. There are heat sinks, all-in-ones, and open loops. This unit here is a Ace-Tech all-in-one. And so everything, our pump, our radiator, our hoses, our fluid, everything is all together. It all works via plugging in a nice 4-pin fan header, and this has a fancy pants RGB cap on it, so we also have some color plugged in as well.
Nice. Jumping back up here. There's also the Black Friday coming up, so prices. Oh, yeah. Oh, do Intel CPUs come with onboard graphics, or they're like the F units with nothing on board? I think we covered that already, but yeah,
they do.
The KFs, yeah.
The Fs do not.
You just get a K.
The others,
yeah,
will, and that's yeah.
And then we've got a conversation over here on the red side talking about the 50 series cards, and Mike is definitely worried about the prices on those, which is valid. But we got a question coming: Why will the 50 series be more expensive? And Mike mentioned that because NVIDIA has been on top for too long and they are now entering the CPU market, so they want some extra funds to fund that. But Paul, you've been able to watch the trends with graphics cards for years, even all the way back to the 10 series. So how does that look like based on what you've experienced so far in the market?
Yeah, so like any new tech and really anything, it's just the world we live in. The brand new stuff is going to be more expensive than the older stuff. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. Maybe there'll be a day where a new card will come out that will be better in every way and cheaper, but I don't really see that happening. Now, the performance always does go up, or usually does go up. So, your 50 series is going to perform better than the 40 series now. How much of that improvement? We all just kind of have to wait and see.
Down on the Facebook side, AB Vid asks, how long does it take to send a custom PC?
So that depends on our volume at the time, but if you go to our website right now, put together your dream machine, it will give you an estimated time of shipping. Right now, we're probably between the 3 and 5 day range. The holidays are coming up though, so we get really busy when the holidays go up, so that lead time will go up a bit then. That being said, if you don't want to wait, you want to get your system tomorrow, check out our RTS systems. Those are all systems that we've built just like what you're seeing here. They get built by the same builders, tested by the same testers, and go through the exact same process. We just have those ready, already boxed up in our warehouse, so we can just slap a label on it and ship it to you same day or next day.
Parents, I would like to discuss some holiday stuff with you all right now. Being a previous member of the Best Buy Club and selling technology to parents, it is important that when you buy a console and you're giving it to your wean on a special day and they want to play it immediately, some of those devices require updates and
you gotta download the games,
downloads and all that fun stuff before you can start playing it. So if you get any of your kids tech stuff, make sure it's updated before they open it up, or else they will lose their mind. The cool thing with our stuff, it already comes pre-burnt in, pre-installed OS, everything's set up. All you have to do is just plug that monitor into the graphics card and power it up, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's out of the box, ready to go. There's no bloatware on the machines. And if there's a game that you want installed to just be right out of the box, we can install that for you here. That way you don't got to wait for it.
I see Indiana Jones in the background. It looks like
I know, I'm so jazzed.
A NVIDIA card right now. I think it comes with Indiana Jones. So like if graphics cards or stuff like that come with games or game codes, like I remember Star Wars Outlaws was there for a bit.
There's been a lot of good titles.
Yeah, all those games come with. So like, that's the nice thing with getting stuff from us is everything is ready to plug and play.
So speaking of plug and play, I believe it's time for us to plug in our RAM, and that is going to be two 16 gig sticks of A-Data DDR5 6000. Now, we do have a question coming in from St. George the Great on the purple side. Hello. It says, I have a question. What kind of gloves do you use when you build, and are they comfortable?
These are
Standard
gloves.
black nitrile gloves. Yeah, pretty standard things. Powder free. I think everything's powder free now. I was trying to find powdered gloves, but you can't.
Yeah. I have my special box of talcum that I could dump my hands into.
You just basically need one of those chalk pits that athletes use. Yep.
It's just full of lye. It's
Do
just
the
a bucket of
LeBron at
lye.
the beginning of every show.
Yeah.
Throw the chalk in the air.
Right? A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere. Cosworth mentions, rumor has it the 5090 will get a super variant at some point, considering that the base card will be a monster. I wonder how much of an improvement it will actually be.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll probably be a pretty big improvement, but all we can do is speculate.
Speaking of speculation, I'll tell you what we don't have to speculate about is what we're going to be putting the operating system on, and that is a 2 terabyte 8 Data Legend 700 Gold M.2 NVMe. Now, as cool as these things are, they also are very specific in how they function. Paul?
Yeah, so these M.2 NVMe drives, you can see Zach puts it, has it installed there. It just goes in pretty much at a 45-degree angle into the M.2 slot on the motherboard. Now, these are extremely fast drives, so we always recommend going with an M.2 for the drive that your operating system is going to be on. And then if you have a big game library and you don't want to pay for a huge M.2 drive, you can always get a standard mechanical with a lot of storage on there for really cheap.
Or you could be like that order I built this morning. It had a 2 terabyte operating system, NVMe, and then it had 3 4 terabyte NVMe's as backups. I'm like, yes! It was cool, like seeing a motherboard fully loaded, but like it wasn't an 800 motherboard either. So those ones have like, I know DJ, you haven't been around the past couple weeks, but all these 800 motherboards we've been opening up. It's like a minimum of 7 NVMe slots on all of these boards. It's
That's
insane.
ridiculous. Speaking of things that are wild and unexpected, Nicole, by the way, hi Nicole. Nicole here mentions that Indiana Jones games come right now with select 40 series builds for anybody who's interested. If you want the game and haven't bought it already, now may be the time to grab a new PC. Dimensional Shadow asks a really good question. This is going to be technical. What is the point of the cache some of the new M.2 SSDs now have?
So I believe that's going to just help with, there's a tiny little processor on these M.2 drives, and so that's where that cache is going to come into play. So the more, the better it's going to perform, the faster it's going to be. I don't know the exact function of the cache and how it sorts out things on the M.2, but I assume it's related to transfer speeds and stuff like that. It's kind of funny. I didn't even realize there was like a tiny little processor on there until we had one, and the heatsink for that fell off. It was just like this tiny little square, and you're like, oh, is that a chip on there?
No.
Like, okay. So I don't have a great answer for you, but I assume that's what it's all for. Relates to.
Ben Shushan mentioned that it makes you wonder how much graphics are going to progress past where they are now. I think if they wanted to the games to look as good as real life these days. And yeah, there's actually some incredible mods that you can use on specific games that will give it, and it looks real.
Hyper realism.
Wild. Yeah. But Cosworth is not necessarily been belief that it's going to get that much harder. Over on the TikTok side, hello, I like the stonk. Yes, welcome in. Why is homie not wearing an ESD wrist strap? Paul?
That's because we got this whole table that's ESD. We're building on an anti-static mat right now. We prefer to use these mats if you build all the time, all day like we do. Those wrist straps can get a little frustrating. You know, they kind of limit your mobility depending on where you've got it clipped to. So if you can get anti-static mat to build on, that'll protect you as well.
Fides over on the kick side mentions that the cache in the SSDs is the same concept as the SSHD. It will eventually remember what you run and commit that to memory. Ah,
Nice.
that would be fantastic. Okay. Now, what we can see right here is Zach is screwing some things into the case. They're little black nubbins, and we call those what?
We call those standoffs. So this is what our
What do those
motherboard
do?
is
Yeah.
actually going to sit on top of. So when we're mounting our motherboard into the case, we're not screwing it directly to the chassis because that would be a lot of other metal touching the back of the motherboard, which could cause things to short out. So you definitely want to make sure you have these standoffs in the right spot and that there isn't any extra in where there shouldn't be.
Stonks is very cool. Good luck on the build. Yes, we appreciate it greatly. Now, what happens if you don't have standoffs that line up?
So if you, let's say, so we've got our standoffs in where they all should be. So let's say we had an extra one in somewhere, let's say right here. Well, that standoff is still going to be touching the back of our motherboard when we do that, and that spot on the motherboard could short out. So that's why you don't want to have any extras in there. It may not affect it at all, but it may fry your board or anything in between.
Fides said, I suppose we can delve into the PC history on that one. SSHD or solid state hybrid drives were hard drives with an SSD cache built into it. Seagate made them in FireCuda series, and that is ironically exactly what I use for my OS drive on my streaming PC. So it is an SSHD, which now how often do you even come across SSHDs now?
They're pretty common still. Most of, like what FIDA says, we sell a lot of Seagate drives here, so most of them have that.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, now we're getting this all screwed in and mounted down. And like Paul said, we want to make sure that all of our standoffs are connected. We had somebody who was trying to build their own PC. Their community bought them all the parts. They put it together, and then I got this phone call. Hey, listen, I can't get my PCIe slots to line up with the caps there. I put the I/O in there, and then there's only like 3 screws. And they said, "Are you sure that you have it in the right case?" Well, yeah, that's the case they bought me. But is the board the right board for that case? He said, "Does it matter?" Yes. So instead, they took 10 snips and literally cut the entire back where the PCIe slots are, cut it off, and then installed everything. And sure enough, it took about 3 hours before it caught fire.
Cosworth. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All
Dude,
right, jumping up here to
yes, there is. And I would naturally bring.
We got one right there, that yellow and black handle.
Yeah,
It's a 5mm hex nut driver.
Yep.
For your standoffs.
I have my tool
Zach's
in
got
here. It's one of these,
nice
but
kit.
naturally I still have it back at my desk because I forgot to pick it up. But it's in between that size and that size. That one.
by the way, the question he's referring to, Cosworth over on the purple side asks, is there a specific bit or tool for standoff removal or installation? I use pliers normally.
Dude, that
You can
hurts.
use pliers
That
if you
hurts my
want.
heart.
But 5mm hex nut driver, that's what you're looking for if you want the exact tool. Now some cases come with it looks like a screw, and it's basically a 5mm hex nut with a hole in it that will go over the standoff, and then you can use a Phillips head to tighten it down. They're kind of a little janky to use.
That's what I was
seeing. I was like, yeah, I was seeing you kind of dragging it. So, but it will work. You know, if you're only putting in one standoff for this PC build, and you don't build a lot, you know, by all means do that. You don't have to buy a whole tool just for a one-time use.
There we go. How did that person survive natural selection? That is an excellent question.
Or just
I'm
get your
very,
scripts out.
very honest.
Yeah, just some channel locks.
You're not allowed to touch your board.
Well, there are times that like I've had to do that because you'll get every once in a while a blowout, which will like you're screwing in and then the standoff got stripped, and like if you ever have to remove a motherboard, that can be kind of a hassle having to get that out. So like just be very careful whenever you get pliers close to motherboards. There are lots of lines on motherboards, and if they get scraped a little bit, that might end that board's life.
And I can say that it's not just PCs. Back when I first switched from vinyl over to CDs as a DJ back in the early 2000s, I had this beautiful motherboard that had a chaos pad in it. So it had a touch sensitive 60 effect so I could just literally run my fingers across it and make different effects, and it was great. Well, the little tabby thing that plugged into it slipped out when I was heading up to Seattle, so I had to pull the top off. And as I was trying to put it back in, I was an idiot and used a screwdriver to aim it and try to push it. And in the process, once I got it in there, as I pulled it back, I ran it down across the back of the board and ran it through several different solder lines. Let me explain to you what did not work when I put it all back together. Like half the effects. It was bad. Yeah, vinyl still rocks this day. I agree, Ben. Don't get me wrong, but
small
I got to do a
collection.
Same thing on like if you're screwing down onto the motherboard, be careful pushing down. On a server motherboard one time, I was installing these screws close to the I/O, and it slipped and it hit a little pin and it deadened the entire PCI slot. So yeah, just always be careful when having any types of tools in the system.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, and on the vinyl thing, I completely agree, just because it's vinyl. That's where it all started. That being said, I got into a car accident, and I got sideswiped by a Suburban and spun my car in a circle, and then I
tied up.
and I slammed the other side of my car into the front of a state trooper.
Got him.
So what was bad was the fact that my seatbelts broke, and all of my vinyl went crashing into one side of the car, went crashing into the other, and shattered all but one record.
Were you listening to Modest?
So that's when I went, yeah, right. That's when I decided we're going to do something that's got a little bit more longevity on it. I'm going to transfer everything that I have over to a hard drive, and then I will burn CDs. And when I get CDs, I will burn copies and just use the copies and keep the originals. But yeah, that's what caused me to go to CD. And then finally, back in 2015, I went fully digital. The only upside is you have so much more that you can do with the music, from a technical standpoint and from an effect standpoint.
Yeah, the convenience of having it all digitally it just outweighs everything, in my opinion. But like I said, I've got a small collection of vinyls that I like, and what I think is cool is they usually come with like extra stuff. Like I've got like a Run the Jewels 3 one, and it came with like a whole sticker book and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't get just by downloading or whatever. So it's cool, but yeah.
Vitus mentioned that their worst accident was a liquid nitrogen leak. Oh God. Thankfully, I've always been over the top of safety. My cryogenic gloves took the hit. Oh my,
gloves.
Everything you just said is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's how a mad scientist is created.
It's like that skateboarder who fell and bashed his head, and he was wearing a helmet, and he just gets up, he's like, I love helmets.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
I love helmets too.
That's funny. Now, while we're looking at this right here, we've got our angled lower fan port that is going to be right next to the power shroud, which Paul can point out. Now, because we've got a different, we've got a separate space for the power shroud, for the power supply unit. how is that going to help or affect the performance of the PC?
So it's going to help things stay a little bit cooler. So that, from what you're looking at right here, yep, this is our power supply shroud. So our power supply is going to be under that, which means it's going to get its own air in from the bottom and shoot it out the back of the case. These power supplies don't get, you know, really hot or anything like that, but they do generate some heat. So none of that will go into the main body of the case.
Michael Marshall down on the Facebook side says, hello, everyone. I didn't know I could watch on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes. We are presently live on TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Facebook.
C-SPAN.
So when you see me doing this, it's because I'm watching live chats. Let's see here. J Doe. Hi, Doe. What's going on? Says, send me one. You know?
Heck yeah, man.
All you got to do is order it. There we are. You need more coffee? Yeah, I will say I've finally gotten past the point. So I've been off caffeine for long enough that my morning, when I get up, I'm up. If I'm sick, I'll make some tea or I have some, it's a honey orange, citron and ginger, mix, but it's like almost like a jelly, and you put it in hot water and you stir it around, and it makes the greatest soothing drink ever.
Put it on toast.
I did
Right.
blackberry and apple with some orange and white tea last night. It was really good.
Nice.
I love me some.
Toxic. Oh, Michael Marshall's Toxic Rat. Gotcha. What's up, dude? Good to see you. All right. Don't forget, once again, if you've got questions, please feel free to ask them. We would love to answer them for you. All right. Now, we've obviously got our radiator with our 3 fans on the top. And of course, we're going to have a total of 8 Gamedeus Aeolus M2 RGB and black fans. And these are 120 millimeter fans. Just for the sake of conversation, Paul, how many different sizes of fans are there for PCs?
So there are quite a few sizes. 120, like the ones we're using right now, are the most popular. You've got 140s, which are a little bit bigger than that. Those are probably second most popular. And then in like workstations and stuff like that, you've got like 60 millimeter, 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter. There's like even a 92. There's a whole bunch of different ones, but 120 and 140 are going to be the most common in the gaming world.
Don't forget the Sweetness Hot Action 200s.
Yeah, there's a big 200. We used to sell a case so long ago, and it had the world's largest side panel fan. I think it was like a 2 or a 300. No, it was more than a 200. It might have been like a 300 millimeter. The whole side panel was basically one big, slow-moving fan.
Yeah. That was my
The Diablo, if anybody wants to look it up. I think it was El Diablo. I don't even know if that was the brand or the model. I don't know.
Stands for fighting chicken, right?
When I built my very first PC for streaming and gaming, I ended up with a thermal take case, and it was all, the little magnetic covers. They were on all sides except the front, and the front was just one giant fan, and that PC stayed really, really cool. But I was always afraid of the dogs going to get anywhere near it because, obviously, Great Danes drool.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it was like, if you short out my PC, I'm going to be very, very unhappy with somebody. Down on the Facebook side, Michael mentions, I drink infused Kool-Aid every morning. Well, that is an option. Let's see here. Jacob Hale. Hello. Just got my Oracle last night. Big upgrade from the one I built in 2017. We'll use y'all again. Super clean work. Dude, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you for that. Hopefully, hopefully your lights aren't flickering or anything. Hopefully your house doesn't get haunted.
Right. The Discord is CLX. It's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. I'm typing that in there right now. And if you aren't already in there, pop in there. We have a section and a thread just for seeing people's PCs. Like when you get a CLX PC, we would love to see how it looks and what you're going to be using it for. So please feel free to post that. It brings us joy. The Stonk over here on the TikTok side mentions, I want to build a liquid cooled PC, but I don't think I'm experienced enough quite yet. I mean, we can build it for you.
Yeah. If If you want to do
Open
like
loop?
an open loop, we can definitely do that.
Yep.
Order one from us. That will be your first one and your template, and then you can build one as a side project. And bam, there you go. So you have a sweet system, and you're building another sweet system.
Cosworth over on the purple side mentions, speaking of fans, have you seen the combined fans that NZXT offers? They are available in 240, 280, and 360 versions, and they look awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a huge fan. And then, Fidus mentions Thermaltake makes some interesting cases. Have you seen the Ceres 350MX? It's the compact mid tower with a built-in LCD panel on the side. What?
Nice.
That's pretty interesting. We've noticed like a little bit of an increase. We also sell like a screen that you can buy and add on to your PC. We've seen that in a couple builds a little bit more often. That's been pretty interesting.
I'm just waiting for an
Yes,
all-in-one computer where the side panel is a monitor and you just plug and play all in one box. Oh man, that would be the ultimate LAN machine.
Yep.
Yes, please.
You would think that would be something that's already happened.
You remember
Yes.
like the old school Xboxes with the monitors, the little like 8-inch
I
monitors
didn't
you
know
get on
that
those?
Xbox did that. I think GameCube did.
No, that was, the company Games, GAEMS, they were my first sponsor, are the ones who built all the battle boxes
Nice.
for
Cool.
the Xboxes.
Yeah.
You know, the case, and we open it up and the screen's built into the back and the Xbox is in there and it's all plugged in. All you do is put one power plug in and you're good. Those were amazing.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
that'd be sick. Kids these days need to stop playing Call of Duty on 60-inch TVs and go back to 19-inch monitored tube TVs so that they like really know what gaming is about.
Let's see here. Posted link to link posted to your Discord. What link? Oh, and got it. Okay, there we go. Never mind. That is
Cracking
so I
open
can
the
take a look
box.
at.
It's cracking, man.
Here it comes.
Really?
What the heck?
Boom.
All right, now we've got this big boy. Look at that. Okay, those fans are actually really cool. That looks sleek. Okay. All right. That's nice. Definitely check that out when you get a chance. Because they're flimsy. Now we've got, this is our 4070 Super. It's got 12 gigs of GDDR6 RAM. Paul, tell us a little bit about this card and how it feels.
Yeah, so like you said, this is the Gigabyte RTX 4070 Super. This is the triple fan model, so we'll go ahead and get this out of the box so you guys can get a good look at it. Holding it, just having it right here, it's a pretty light card. We probably wouldn't need an anti-sag bracket, but we might as well use the one that comes in the case. We have kind of a soft rule of anything 4070 or higher, we use an anti-sag bracket, but I think you could get away without using one if you had this card at home and didn't have an anti-sag bracket. So, not the smallest card, but it is on the smaller side. Yeah, go ahead, DJ.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Willie B. Mensch asks, y'all going to give it to me? Sure, if you order it.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. Now, pulling all these out, this obviously has its standard 1 HDMI and 3 display ports. Now, some cards actually end up having more ports than that. Why is that?
It's probably just the capability of the card. It can be a nice selling factor if you've got a whole bunch of monitors or need those video outputs for something else.
Right? Which is, and of course it's a gigabyte. We love gig. We love the gigabytes. So, one thing I will point out is that side angle that we just saw, and that is the fact that it's closed off. I think it makes the card look cleaner. I think it was worth a try. Yes, it was. It makes the card look cleaner. It just feels like it has a more professional look to it.
Yeah, it does. I really like the look of this and the back plate. Always looks nice.
Yes. Back plates are amazing. Now we're gonna get this put in here. So you mentioned that it doesn't feel real heavy. So is it basically just a 2-slot card, or is it gonna take 3?
It is a 2-slot card. So what we're talking about there is this right here. So it's going to take up 2 PCIe slots. Now this heatsink where our fans are, it does stick out just a little bit, but I'd still just call it a 2-slotter.
Gotcha. Nice. All right, we're gonna get that installed in there in just a few.
Get our power supply out now as well. Looks like Zach's cruising right along on the tie-up.
Right, as per usual. So for our power supply, we're going to be using a Gamedeus Helios P2. It's an 850 watt 80 plus gold, but this is a little bit different than the one that we did on Tuesday. How does this power supply differ from the one we installed Tuesday?
So this one is non-modular, so that's going to be the big difference here, which means all the cables come pre-soldered in to the power supply. So we won't use all the cables that come in there. It typically has a few extras pre-soldered in case you're adding a whole bunch of hard drives or stuff like that. But this power supply does come with the new 12 volt high power connector for our video card, so we're not going to have to use the dongle, which will be nice.
Now, by the way, we've got somebody in Phoenix Strider down on the Facebook side. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome. In Court C over on the YouTube side asks, how many employees do you have at CLX?
It's just Paul and me.
Yep.
It's just Paul and me.
Us and Jason and DJ.
Yep. We built all
That's it.
of Santa's computers all
True.
day long.
We just never sleep. That's just it. We just never sleep.
We don't stop. TikTok.
Yeah. Our total number
Lord.
of
Get that
employees,
party
it
on.
fluctuates, so I don't really want to give out a set number because it does change. Obviously, going into the busy season, we will hire more and do it as demand requires. But mostly
Now,
it's
one thing
just
to talk
me and
about-
Zach.
Right. One thing to notice and talk about it real quick is since we do have the full 8 fans, so there's going to be 3 in the back and 1 in the bottom pulling fresh air in, and then you've got 1 in the back and the 3 pushing air through the radiator up at the top. So it's a pretty even pressure system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, 4 intakes, 4 exhausts. Now 3 of those exhausts are on the radiator, so that's going to restrict some airflow by pushing it through the radiator. So we will lean in a slightly positive pressure inside of our system, which is what we're going for here.
Over on the red side, Mr. Pie Guy says, hey guys, currently waiting for some more cashola to buy your PC and get back into streaming. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We appreciate that. And we're super excited for you to do so.
Mr. Pie Guy, what's your favorite type of pie?
That's a good question.
What's your favorite type of pie?
Lemon Supreme from Village Inn. Or pumpkin. I like me some. This is the time of year for me.
You guys are all wrong.
What?
The best pie out there on the market, DJ.
Let's see if DJ.
For me personally, I made some fruit pies.
The best. Strawberry rhubarb.
It is.
That's a good fruit pie.
I like strawberry, blackberry, and a dark cherry.
The best pie out there is chicken pot.
Oh my god, that doesn't count. That
Jeez.
can't count as a pie. You might as well say cheese pizza.
God. I'm giving you the bleep. Good
Change
Lord.
my mind. Chicken pot is the best pie out there and the only one that you should be eating.
What do you want for dessert? Give me a slice of that chicken pie.
Yeah.
Cosworth mentions the new special edition of the Steam Deck is awesome looking in white with gray buttons, giving the deck a retro look.
Ooh.
Shame that I already have one.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
By the way, the response to your question over on the red side is from Mr. Pie Guy says sweet potato and pumpkin pie, but you can move the wrong with you can't go wrong with any pie. Pumpkin and apple pies are the best 2 pies. Says truly meaningless. It does pie. Pie is the same name. Got it. Mr. We've also got truly meaningless asked a question a little bit up here. It says hello. I bought a PC from y'all yesterday. Can't wait for it to arrive, even if it'll be sent out on the 25th. Ah, awesome.
Very awesome. Well, we appreciate that. Can't believe
who
you
all
said
is,
chicken pot pie, Zach.
Man, that's the best
Come on
pie out
now.
there. I'm just not a pie person.
Come on.
I'm just not a pie person.
I like some savory pies.
My
I'll be
dad
honest.
likes apple pie. My mom likes pecan pie or pecan.
I call it pecan pie.
Right?
What's okay?
Pecan pie.
I've only had like a chicken pot pie maybe like twice in my
Oh,
life.
dude, all
and they're
right.
probably those like
Okay.
Marie Callender's frozen ones, you know?
Go to Sam's.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting
This said
like
the wrong ally over the cement.
12 pounds.
12-pound
It
pie.
is. It's a pie like this big, dude. It'll last you for like
slice it up,
3
though,
or
or
4
what?
meals. Yes.
You get a
you're-
slice.
and then
Yeah.
it just oozes
Just
out,
spills
and then
out.
you're just eating like peas,
Gravy
and carrots,
peas.
and it's all good when it's all together. But
Just cover that in gravy. It's gravy that's in there, right? That's like the liquid stuff in a chicken
I thought it was
pie.
like chicken noodle soup.
Oh yeah, maybe
all
it's
sorts
cream
of
of
stuff.
It's cream of chicken. It's got to be cream of chicken, right? Has to be.
Probably. Phoenix Strider mentions, says, I don't game much, but I do program AI, and that 4070 would be crazy for my AI.
Nice.
I wish I understood more about how that works. But, yeah. Nolan Blake Howard, welcome back in. Good to see you. My favorite is lemon meringue pie. Okay, let's be fair. A good lemon meringue is a damn good lemon meringue.
It's probably because I like pudding pies, and I can't
pies are
have
good.
the dairy. But like a banana pudding or a chocolate pudding is so delicious,
good.
but it's just so rich, and it's like
Oh,
afterward, it's like
My first job was at Village Inn, which I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a chain. I don't know if it's all over, but it's like a breakfast spot. I was like a host/server, but they got good pies. They got.
you got to go to Spears.
delicious pies.
There's
Spears has
over
good
by
pies,
the mall.
yeah.
Thursday night is a free slice of pie with a meal. It's worth it.
yeah, Mitch Pie Guy agrees that Sam's and Costco pies are great. I agree. But Warhand over the purple side, first time message. Hello, welcome into the show. Says the best pie is always the one grandma is cooking.
Well, that's a pretty good answer there, Warren. Yep.
But
Nicole,
Conrad over on the green side says not a pie person. Dean Winchester would be ashamed of you.
I am a pie
And if you
person.
get that reference,
Hey man,
you're awesome.
I've seen Supernatural.
How did we end up on the topics of pie?
Nicole knows how we get on our topics.
Yeah,
Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his pie hole. Bam.
or sings as loudly as possible.
I never represent.
Shamosa's in the house. What's up, Shamosa?
Does a hot dog count as pie?
We had that
Says,
conversation.
oh, no. Okay. Although it doesn't count as a pie, I will say, like cheesecake, man.
Ooh, a
That is
cheesecake.
that would usually be my go-to. Okay, the last time that I was in a relationship and we broke up, I literally went to the Trader Joe's here, got some orange chicken, and picked up a cherry cheese, full cherry cheesecake. And of course, I am lactose intolerant as all hell.
Yeah.
And I ate that whole cheesecake in
so
one
yummy.
sitting.
It's so good.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
delicious. And then
How do
you
we get- oh,
regret
yes.
it like a day or two later, and you're like, but it was worth it.
Why is cheesecake not a pie? Does anybody have the actual answer for that? Because it sure seems like a pie to me. But cheesecake is good.
Mr. Pie Guy says the best pies. Oh dear God.
We had a green tea. You remember that green tea cheesecake we had in Vegas?
Yeah, the matcha
In that
one.
casino? Ooh, that one was good.
Warhead says my PC is 8 years old now, but still kicks ass. Nice.
Very nice.
Heck yeah.
It's a cousin of pie. Okay, I'll take that, Hashim.
Yep. It's the cousin of the pie. Ah, there we go. Cheesecake sounds so good right now. I shouldn't have brought it up because now I'm actually
Wanting some.
wanting cheesecake.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out what's for
It's almost the holidays.
supper tonight.
You're about to have an excuse.
Yeah, guess what hit the shelves this past weekend? Eggnog!
Oh,
Mm.
I feel like I try
Now that I will get
eggnog
down as an
every
eggnog.
decade, and I'm
That's
like,
for
nope.
sure.
Ah, man, it's so good. It's good if you get a boozy one and it's like properly boozed.
Eggnog.
I don't like making it myself though.
It's just, is it egg whites? Is that like the main ingredient, or is the main ingredient still milk?
I just know the main ingredient is delicious whenever I drink it, and it's so yummy, so good. But then it's also like afterward, and I don't like that a lot.
Coquito is better than eggnog. I'm going to be very honest. I don't know what that is, but now I'm going to have to go and look it up because it sounds fun.
It's like horchata.
Warren says, "Oh,
amazing."
Now Warren says it's you have an 8-year-old PC, but it's an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X with a 3080. I mean, that sounds pretty bomb.
Solid build.
I mean, say you've got some modern storage on that 8-year-old device, or else you're letting it. The load times are a little long.
Yeah. Yep. Rum and eggnog works. Needs a good thick version, not runny.
What? Oh, rum. Okay, I thought you said ramen.
I heard ramen as well.
We had a family event down in California long ago when I was a teenager, and obviously it was long ago. And there was 2 bowls of eggnog, and I took one out of the one closest to me. Yeah,
because it was close.
But yeah, I definitely got into the adult eggnog, and it was, it became a very fun day of me falling over myself.
White girl.
All right, now we've got our tags off, and Zach, what are some really key elements to keep in mind when you're installing a graphics card on a board that has a switch like this?
Yes, so whenever installing our GPUs, we want to make sure that we remove our I/O slots, however many are needed. This is a 2-slot card, so we're just going to be removing the 2. And then we want to make sure that our slot is in the open position. And then our next thing, we will want to make sure that our I/Os go into their ports on the front, and then we just want to make sure that our slot goes nice in there. Might have to watch out for some heat sinks or whatever. And then this is just sitting in there right now. There's a little clip on there. Easy as that.
Pie.
Aha!
Pie. There it was.
Easy as pie. Wow.
Easy as 3.14 repeating, of course.
Yeah.
So many numbers. There's eggnog. What's the other word? Christmas drink? Some kind of custard? What?
Oh.
Jack Daniels. That's the other Christmas drink.
Lord. A little DJ drunk on eggnog. Yeah, it was. I realized it after I got to the second one because I went the other one and picked at that one. I thought, okay, well, this one might be different. That was the one without alcohol in it. I realized I am never telling my parents. But man, balance was a problem back then. I wish more boards had the button. It makes life so much easier. Cosworth says, I agree. Guys, for those who don't know what the button is, what is that?
So the button is seen on most or some high-end motherboards. It's usually on the right side of the motherboard if you're looking at it like on the screen right there. And it's a quick release for the top slot, the top PCIe slot. So you press the button and that clip that locks it into place releases, you can just pull the card out. It's really helpful when you have a larger card and it's hard to find that clip and push down on it. So it's a convenience thing, but it is really nice to have.
Phoenix Rider mentions, I use an i7 9th Gen with 16 gigs of RAM and a 2070 OC, and it's got a 2 terabyte M.2 with 2 external drives on it. That's a solid build.
Very nice.
Yeah, you wish? Yes, I agree.
Oh, time for these beautiful panels.
Yeah, Mr. Pie Guys, I agree. Yeah, we're going to get those on there. Now, the one thing I do want while you guys are getting that put together, I want to take everybody on a journey. You want to go on an adventure? Because I want to show you, because we've got a lot of people in here who are looking maybe to pick up a PC here soon since it's the holidays. Let's talk about that. We're going to head over to CLXgaming.com. At CLXgaming.com, we're going to make this as easy as possible. Whether you want a big rig, whether you want a small rig, we have easy as pie. Yeah, there we go. We've got everything from our large raw builds all the way down to our sets. Now, here is the fun part about this. We have basically everything. Whether you want a custom designed case like what we're doing today, if you want Intel, we got Intel. We've got, I almost said Armada. That's not the word I was looking for. We've also got AMD. We've got Radeon. We've got NVIDIA. We've got all of the major players here, especially with our motherboards. We've got a plethora of motherboards as options. And you don't have to worry about being an expert when you're putting things together. Notice how that little button just turned yellow? Well, that happened because we have selected a graphics card that is too powerful for the power supply. So when it says solve conflict, you're gonna click that button. It's gonna give you two options. And it's gonna say either you can use one of these graphics cards with that power supply, or if you go to this power supply, you can use that graphics card. So you make the change, fix it, it says solved, and you go right back into playing with what you want. Now, there's all sorts of different things you can get, whether it's cosmetic, whether it is getting RAM, updating, if you want extra drives, we've got that as well. We also have what's called the Foundry, and the Foundry is great because that's how you're going to cool your system and tune it. So we can either overclock your GPU, we can overclock your CPU. If you want, we can overclock both. We can give you upgraded thermal paste. And if you want to go with an open loop system, we can also do that instead of a closed loop, which is a lot of fun. Now, the best part about this is we've also got, for those of you who are streamers and content creators, we've got everything from Stream Decks to Beacon Mix Creates, Beacon Mics, you name it, we've got it. And on our accessories page, there we go. Jason's just trying to keep up. I'm sorry. We've got it. You can get t-shirts. You can get windbreakers like this. We've got keyboards. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, what? Cookie?
And we have hoodies. Hoodies?
Coconut.
We always had hoodies. Interesting. Sorry, I got sidetracked by hoodies. We've got game controllers, headsets, mics, speakers, monitors, pretty much everything you can imagine. We've got routers. We've got chairs, believe it or not, which is also fun. So, yeah, it's a one-stop shopping center. Now, for those of you who might be like, oh, that's a lot of pressure. That's okay. Check it out. We've got an RTS, which is our ready to ship section, which makes it just so much easier. Whether you're looking to just get a beginner PC, we've got entry level. We've got entry level all the way up to ultra performance, ultra high performance. Let's say that. So with all of that in mind, you get a chance to look and see, all right, this is what this is going to do, or this is how much it's going to cost with these kind of parts. And then you can pick one and just adjust it as well. So who knows? They're already tested and boxed and ready to go, and they might be looking for a home, and that home just might be yours. So for all of your future PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you. Okay, now, God, I love this design.
It looks so good.
It does. Now, this is our topography. We have lots of different designs that you can find in various different forms. As you remember, for the Halloween, we had the Oracle. In fact, we have an Oracle person in here as well. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So,
I really want this motherboard.
Yeah?
Yeah, like this is off. And I just love the RGB glow like that it has on it. It's so good.
That is cool. All right, let's pop it on and see how she works. Ta-da! Ooh, I like that. Already starts with multicolored. That's fantastic. God, that looks good. And you can still see the LED on the shroud. So the shroud has its own LED light on there. That is a gorgeous looking PC. My gosh.
Hi, Hungry.
Well, yep. And you, hello from Hungary. Hello. How are you? Welcome. So that's fantastic. Let's go back over one more time. What is in this PC? This, of course, is our special CLX Horus NV5 topography build. This has an Intel Core i7-14700KF processor that is cooled by a CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. It's an RGB. The motherboard is an ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi with 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 from XPG. It's got an RTX 4070 Super, 2 terabyte ADATA Gold NVMe M.2, 8 different GameDS Aeolus fans, and we've got a GameDS Helios P2 850 watt power supply. So that is fantastic. I love it. Now, remember, this show happens, sometimes we do an after show, sometimes we don't. We're not doing an after show today. I'm going to be going and continuing the campaign for Black Ops 6. But to stay up to date on all the latest of what's going on with CLX and having fun with us, you can catch us at Tuesdays and Thursdays right here at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 Eastern for our show. We also would encourage you to go to our socials. CLX Gaming. That's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. You can also head over to our Discord at discord.gg/CLX Gaming to hang out with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts and geeks. I love it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end that here. And I want to say thank you so much to Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach. I'm DJ Blue PDX. We'll see you in a few. Thanks for watching. Come back Tuesday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.